Hey guys, it's your friend ECW fan here, and this part one actually was recorded 2 weeks ago, but I went to check the audio in the editing part, and it's screwed up. Yeah, and I can't use it. It's just too off, and I decided to go ahead and film this and show off the movies. I did show off some comics, but it wasn't nothing major. I will let it be revealed that when I went to Larry's, I did pick up a final issue of Star Wars 107. That was the only major key that I picked up at Larry's. He had a first issue of Doctor Strange from the 70s. Yeah, that was nice. But that Star Wars final issue 107 is the only real key issue I picked up. So I'm going to go ahead and show off some movies, and we're going to try to make this quick. Now, one of the first movies I picked up was a Blu-ray from a pawn shop, and it was I think it was like $1. The woman had priced it for $1 to me, and it's a 3-movie disc combo pack with a special edition. It's Brad Pitt in Moneyball, and the story is about a true story based on Billy Beane, who became the general manager at a young age of the Oakland Athletics. And I'm not a big baseball fan, but we know the story more or less. Beane was handed a team that really does not have a big budget. The Athletics had to cut their payroll down like to so many millions, and unlike the Yankees or those big teams that had those huge multi-million-dollar payrolls, Beane had to use analytics with a character played by Jonah Hill that's, I think, based on another real-life character. So they had to use analytics and stats pretty much to find key players cheap. And while the Athletics have never won a World Series, they have been competitive. And I don't know if he's still with that team or not, but it showed him. Some of the scenes is him chewing tobacco going, yeah, he's pointing at the guy, and the guy, that's when you chime in. It's really good. I like that scene. It made me laugh. But yeah, I like a lot of Brad Pitt movies. I've got a couple of them, and he has that everyman quality in a way that he can go from playing Billy Beane to World War Z. Now, moving on from sports movies, we go to The Silence of the Lambs. I'm shocked I never had this movie, and I too found it in a pawn shop. And it's the special edition, which includes a little book, which shocked me because this little booklet actually details a story. It's called The Preparation and all this stuff. Now, I didn't know it for the longest time because I checked the disc and I went on home, and I was like, I thought it was just a normal thing in a DVD, like a booklet, like to tell you the chapters and stuff. And it's just like it's like a little small story you can read. So that was pretty nice. Now, moving on from psychological horror of The Silence of the Lambs, we go to madcap comedy of it. It's a mad, 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 mad world. I love this movie. As a kid, I used to watch it back in the 80s and 90s on, I think it was TBS would play it. It was just really fun. It was really fun for what it was. And it's got Spencer Tracy, the Three Stooges. It's got Buddy Hackett. It's Caesar. It's Milton Berle. It's just like a homage to all those classic comedians. And one of the worst parts is that they tried to remake this movie in the 2000s. And they didn't use this name. He actually called it Rat Race with Cuba Gooding Jr. And it just didn't have that same vibe. It just didn't have that, you can't replace all these classic comedians with Cuba Gooding Jr. and a couple people that, you just cast in it. Let's, change the name. Now, we go from, madcap comedy to violence. Rambo Last Blood. If she dies, she dies. That's basically a little bit from Rocky, but yeah, I've got all the Rockies in a collection, and I got Rambos now. This gives me all 5 Rambo movies, and I've never seen Last Blood. And a guy told me at Cheap Thrills where I bought this, he's like, dude, you're going to really like Rambo, Last Blood. He said it's really good. And Stallone's pushing near 80, but the guy looks like he could still beat the living crap out of him. I mean, that guy's, he looks, I wouldn't say nothing bad to him. Massive props, Sly Stallone, man. You're one ripped dude, man. Even at your age, I give you props, man. And I've got a couple Stallone movies. Now, the last couple are Dollar Tree movies. And Dollar Tree movies is hit and miss. I've said it before. Sometimes you can go in and you'll find like one movie, maybe 2, that's really worth picking up. And a lot of the times you go in there and there's movies that's really just junk. I mean, you ask, why did they make this movie? What possible reason? And I picked up 3, and a lot of people's going to question this first movie. I can see Eddie now going, why the heck would you pick up this movie? I like historical movies. I like it on people. If it sounds interesting that I don't know, and if it's like $1, give it a shot, because this is 3 parts. And I don't live in the UK, but I'd really like to watch this about Margaret Thatcher. The rise and fall of Margaret Thatcher. And back in the 80s, Margaret Thatcher was a right-wing politician in the UK. It's more famous for the fact that Alan Moore, writer of Watchmen, V for Vendetta, was not a big fan of her policies. So I'm gonna watch that. I mean, yeah, I'm a historical guy. I like to learn on characters and stuff like that. Now, another one I found like weeks later, was Superman and Friends, which looks at 4 episodes and a bunch of special features on the 1990s animated Superman show. Never watched it. Never watched the animated Superman show. I watched the Batman one, and I've got 2 of the season sets, but I never watched the Superman one. And I've heard there's some good stuff in it, so I'm gonna watch these. It surprised me, but that they call, I know Bruce Timm's universe is extended for so many years, and now this one was probably the best buy in the whole Dollar Tree thing. And they had a season set of part 1 of Peter Capaldi, of one of his seasons, but I've got his whole complete series. I don't need any Peter Capaldi seasons, but they did have something that's going to go on my display shelf soon. It's The Weeping Angels. Yes. Don't blink. Don't look away. The Weeping Angels are some of the most creepiest villains that the new Doctor Who has ever made. And this actually has a couple other stories. And they are probably my favorite villains that was created in the recent years for Doctor Who. And I saw this and I was like, I'm picking this up. I don't know. It was just luck. I mean, this is probably my favorite Dollar Tree find the last few years for $1. And it shocked me. It was actually in my local Dollar Tree, because I usually can't find anything really this good. So I was happy. But that's it. That's all that I've picked up over the last couple months. Not many movies, because I've pretty much found the movies I like to get. If I see something that interests me, I'll pick it up, like that Margaret Thatcher. And I could tell that I could see people shaking their heads like, oh man, why would you pick that up? But I like historical movies on people, and that sounded interesting, It's from the BBC, like this. But yeah, The Weeping Angels, probably my best buy at Dollar Tree. But I want to thank you for watching part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, and that'll be coming to you in about a week or 2 after this one. Thanks for watching.